Moving on, the first question in this problem is to have a graphical representation of the labor market. We have already done that. And then we are given a scenario where there is a reduction on the unemployment benefit. There is a labor reform that reduces the duration of unemployment benefits. So what does it mean, or how does this indicate, or how does this situation impact our graphical representation of wage setting and price setting? Depicted the relationship between wage setting and price setting in our curve, and we are saying that there is a reduction in unemployment benefit. So unemployment benefit is actually reduced. There is a labor reform. So this is to say being an employed person in this regard is less attractive because the unemployed person is getting less money. So the unemployment benefit reduced, the unemployed person is getting less money, so he or she would tend to look for a job or would tend to enter into the labor market so that he would get or she would get a better income. Previously, the persons were getting unemployment benefit for, let's say, enough amount of money, but now the unemployment benefit reduced. So this is actually a question of survival. So they say, oh, okay, I'm getting less amount of unemployment benefit, so this is maybe a good time for me to enter the labor market and to start actually working. So this is to say there would be additional persons in the market looking for a job and looking for open positions. If there are additional employees in the market, or so to say potential employees in the market, firms can thus negotiate the level of income that they are, the level of wage that they are paying to their employees. So this is to say if there is a high request for a job and if there is a high number of available persons that can be employed in the company, people or the company would say, okay, I might reduce my wage since I have too much supply of labor force in the market, and this is to say they would reduce or they would apply a lower amount of wage. So in this regard, we have a shock which would shift our wage setting curve inwards because there is a decrease in unemployment benefit which is captured by our Z variable here. So the decrease in unemployment benefit is an exogenous variable and it is captured by our Z variable. So if there are more employees or if there are more people that are willing to work, companies would make their reservation wage lower. The reservation wage is actually the lower wage that employees would be willing to work for a company. So this is again to say maybe the minimum wage was 8 euros previously, and then if companies identify that there are actually more labor force participants that are willing to work, they might push the wage to 7 euros from 8. So wage is decreasing and our wage setting curve is shifting inwards because of this shock. We had an equilibrium previously on point A where price setting was equal to our wage setting curve 1. Now we have a new wage setting, which is wage setting 2, and we have a new equilibrium point at point B. So at point B, we have also the natural rate of unemployment, which is indicated previously by UN1, and now the new natural rate of unemployment or structural rate of unemployment would be indicated by UN2. So this is to say Z, or our exogenous variable in the form of unemployment benefit, reduced. So this reduction in our exogenous variable would have an effect on the position of our curve. So this indicates that our setting, or our wage setting, actually shifted leftwards and decreased. In our new equilibrium, we have a new natural rate of unemployment, UN2, which is actually lower than our initial natural rate of unemployment, UN1. The structural unemployment rate, or the natural rate of unemployment, decreased because the average reservation wage was decreased. The reservation wage, as we have said, is the minimum wage that the employees are willing to work in a given scenario or conditions. Now, the second part of our labor market model is on monopoly regulation. The Monopoly Commission acts and imposes drastic penalties against companies which abuse their market power. The companies reduce their markup. We have previously said in the price setting earlier that monopolies would tend to set a higher markup or a higher mu in order to increase the price. So in this case, there is a monopoly regulation, and the Monopoly Commission says if companies are abusing their market power to set up a higher mu or a higher markup, then it would levy some sort of penalty to penalize these monopoly institutes. This can also be represented in our labor market model, which we have already developed. We have already said our wage setting curve would look like this, and we have already said our price setting is 1/1 plus mu 1, and this gives us the initial price setting curve, which should be labeled as price setting 1. So what is actually the shock that we are seeing, or that we are observing right now, is there is a decrease in the markup mu. So this is to say the Monopoly Commission is saying that, okay, you companies, monopoly companies that are abusing their market power should actually reduce mu. What is the impact of the reduction in mu? This would translate into saying that 1/1 plus mu as the whole term would increase. So as you can see, our mu is appearing in the denominator here. So if mu is decreasing, and if this is also decreasing, 1/something decreasing would be a very high number. So we are saying 1/1 plus mu is increasing. So if 1/1 plus mu is increasing, we have already seen in the price setting 1/1 plus mu is equal to wage over price. So if 1/1 plus mu is increasing, this is to say our W over P is increasing. Why is this W over P increasing? This can be either due to an increase in wage, or this can be either due to an increase in price. But in this case, there is no increase in price because authorities are imposing penalties, and there should not be an increase in price. I mean, they are imposing a penalty to reduce mu. That is indirectly to say they want to reduce the price, because mu is actually a determinant factor in setting the price. So if we are saying W over P is increasing, and we can either say W is increasing or P is increasing. But in this case, P is not increasing, or our price level is not increasing. So we can conclude to say if W over P is increasing, this is due to the fact that our wage is increasing. So in our price setting formula, W over P is increasing, so as to say our only W is increasing as mu is decreasing. So we have already said that 1/1 plus mu is increasing, so we would have here a new point where we say 1 over 1 plus mu 2. So as you can see, we are moving up to the higher level of W over P because our wage is increasing. And in this higher level, we have mu 1 and mu 2. And mu 1 is actually greater than mu 2. So mu 2 should be lower than the mu 1. This is because of the penalty set by the monopoly condition, the monopoly commission, yeah. So we have a new price setting 2 here, and this is again to say our mu 1 is greater than our mu 2. However, our 1 over 1 plus mu 2 is greater than 1 over 1 plus mu 1. So mu 1 at initial period was high, so the monopoly commission said companies should decrease mu in the price setting. So if mu is decreasing, our 1 over 1 plus mu is actually increasing, so our curve is increasing upwards. So this is why we have a shift in the price setting curve from PS1 to PS2. So initially we had an equilibrium point A where we had natural rate of unemployment 1. However, in the new price setting we had a new equilibrium B where our natural rate of unemployment is indicated to be UN2. So now, due to this monopoly regulation, companies have less market power and they are asked or they are forced to decrease mu. So mu is decreasing. Mu is an exogenous variable, so it has an impact on our price setting curve. So there is a significant shift in the price setting curve upwards, which pushed this 1 over 1 plus mu function upwards to the price setting 2 or price setting of the second case. And in this case, our natural rate of unemployment is actually lower at the second period, or at the UN2 is lower than UN1. And this is because the fact that our real wage has increased. We have already said that due to the reduction in mu, there is an increase in 1 over 1 plus mu, and the increase in 1 over 1 plus mu is directly reflected on our real wage, which is W over P, price becoming not impacted or price becoming not changed. We have said wage increased, but this is again to say the whole term increased, so this is to say real wage increased. If real wage increased, our natural rate of unemployment decreased from UN1 to UN2. Now we would look at some numerical examples. In our numerical example, we're giving a value of mu1 is equal to 0.5, and we have mu2 which is equal to 0.2. We know that we have a formula which says 1 plus 1 over mu1, which can be represented as 1 over 1 plus 0.5, and this is to say 1 over 1.5, and again this is equal to 2 over 3, which can also be written as 4 over 6. Again, for our mu2, 1 plus 1 over 1 plus mu2 is equal to 1 over 1 plus 0.2, which is equal to saying 1 over 1.2, and this is again 5 over 6. So as you can see, in our first scenario, we had 4/6, which is less than 5/6 in the second scenario. So in our first scenario, again, we have mu to be 0.5, but however, in the second scenario, we had mu to be equal to 0.2, and mu1 is greater than mu2. So this is again to say if we decrease mu, the whole term 1/1 plus mu would increase. Moving to the problem 19.3, labor market reform again. The government takes back several labor market reforms in order to appeal voters during the election here. So the government is now increasing the level of unemployment benefit. So the government is saying, let me just take back some of the reforms that I have made, and I'm increasing the unemployment benefit. How would this be reflected in our labor market model? We shall see that graphically in the already set up labor market model. So graphically, we have our real wage on the y-axis, unemployment rate on the x-axis, and we have our wage setting, which is price setting, which is 1/1 plus mu, and our price setting curve is indicated to be like this. And we have our wage setting curve, which initially looks like this. So what does this increase in the level of unemployment benefit indicate? If there is an increase in the unemployment benefit, being unemployed is actually favorable to some portion of the labor force, so they would try to be unemployed, or they would leave their job in order to get this higher level of unemployment benefit. So if people are leaving the labor force or leaving the employed position to the unemployed position, this is to say there is a shortage of people that are working in the companies. So companies would not have enough employees to work for them. So in order to attract more employees, they would increase their wage, or they would increase their wage setting. So this exogenous shock in the labor market in the form of increase in unemployment benefit would indicate that there would be an increase in the wage setting, or an outward shift of our wage setting curve, which is actually motivated by the increase in our exogenous variable Z, in our case, our unemployment benefit. So here initially we had at point A an equilibrium where we had said UN1, but now we have a new equilibrium B, and in this point we have a new natural rate of unemployment, which is indicated by UN2. So in words, this is to say there is an increase in Z in our exogenous variable, there is an increase in unemployment benefit. So Z is exogenous variable in our setup. This would have an impact on the position of our curve. So our curve is shifting from WS1, wage setting curve 1, to WS2, wage setting 2. There is a significant rightward shift, or an increase in the wage setting. In the new equilibrium, we have reached a level of natural rate of unemployment, which is represented by UN2, and UN2 is actually greater than UN1. Why is this the case? Structural or natural rate of unemployment is higher than the initial level of unemployment or natural rate of unemployment, due to the fact that companies are increasing their reservation wage because they are planning or they are thinking of hiring more employees which left their position because of the unemployment benefit increasing, and they are attracted with this unemployment benefit increasing. Final problem in this labor market model is an overview of what we have just did. Summarize your findings from the previous part by filling the table below. Use upward arrows to denote an increase, downward arrows to denote a decrease, and a horizontal bar to denote that the values does not change. So we have seen that in 19.1 there was a reduction of unemployment benefit, or there was a reduction of our exogenous variable Z. This had no impact on our real wage, but our natural rate of unemployment, UN, decreased. The second one is a monopoly regulation. We have seen that 1/1 plus mu increased, so this is to say real wage increased. In addition, our natural rate of unemployment or structural unemployment rate decreased. The third one is, which we have seen right now, the labor market reform again, where unemployment benefit increased. This had also no impact on our real wage, W/P. However, our natural rate of unemployment increased. So this is an overview of the labor market model that we have just covered. We have seen three shocks in this regard, and we have seen how these three shocks can be captured graphically and can also be explained verbally. This is end of first part of our session 6. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, please do feel free to send us emails.